Hello, good afternoon. I am Emefa Akosiadeti, and this is News Today. This afternoon, over 100 drivers arrested for charging unapproved fares as commuters' frustration mounts over transportation challenges. We'll take you to Medina and Kaswa.
They will decide to go to Malam Junction and then stop and then continue to Odoko. So you realize that you have to even pay 3 times the amount you pay, let's say, from here to Circle.
Meanwhile, GPRTU insists it will not relent on its quest to keep arresting the commercial bus drivers. As well in the bulletin, mixed reactions greet government announced move to rename Kotoka International Airport as critics slump parliament for going to waste state resources on a matter of less priority to Ghana's economic development.
Oh, it's very necessary. They should change it.
The history behind Kotoka, the airport being named after Kotoka. I hear he was killed there.
We have details plus a statement from the Volta Regional Commissioner of the National Development Planning Commission. As well in the bulletin, a bill to break the monopoly of the Ghana School of Law and decentralize legal education progresses in Parliament, but some MPs are urging caution.
It is welcoming that we finally have a bill which is streamlining legal education.
Live to Parliament for the second day of proceedings since the House resumed, and as well President John Mahama expected to arrive shortly in Zambia for a 3-day state visit, as Ghana's High Commissioner to Zambia reveals that several memoranda of understanding are expected to be signed, including visa waiver agreements between the two countries.
We are going to sign some MOUs in the area of bilateral air service agreements, in the area of visa waiver. Visa waiver is very important.
We're live in Zambia. Now, we're also live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. JoyNews, independent, fearless, credible. Please stay for details. I appreciate your company this afternoon. First, we begin with Accra's persistent transportation challenges, from long passenger queues to vehicle shortages and delays at major bus stops, which continue to frustrate commuters. We head to the street now to get a sense of how these challenges are affecting commuters and transport operators. First, Michelle Lati at Kaswa.
Tell me what exactly the situation is for you on a daily basis at this junction.
Okay, so I normally come here on Wednesday mornings, and the situation is very bad. You know, many a times I decide to come very late. I don't come very early because, I mean, there are a lot of people here, and then the crowd here is so much that we find it difficult getting cars. And some of the vehicles actually do not go straight. I am going to Circle. They will decide to go to Malam Junction and then stop and then continue to Odoko. So you realize that you have to even pay 3 times the amount you pay, let's say, from here to Circle. It's very, very bad. So even today, I've been here for let's say, for the past 15 minutes. I should have come earlier, but I felt like, well, the people will be too, the people here will be very, very many, so I have to delay a little. But I feel like if there are more security agency forces like the police to conduct, especially the traffic at the Wija Junction, it will help the situation here, yes. So I think that's the best we can do for now.
So this is what the situation looks like. Let me get closer to more of the commuters. I see this lady here. Ma'am, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. It's 12 already. Tell me what the situation looks like for you on a daily basis.
Every day we are suffering. Not a single day. Every day. So we need a bus. Yeah.
But how long have you been here though?
Today?
Yes.
I came here at 8 o'clock. Yeah. 8 o'clock.
And since then, you've not seen a vehicle that is going in your direction?
Yeah. As you are saying, some are going to Medina, Kwashima and whatever, but you won't get Accra straight. If you get Accra even, they will make it short. Malam Junction, Odoko, Kandeshi, before you get to Accra.
So this lady here tells us what the situation is for her. As you see behind in your shot here, more and more people are joining in the queues. When a vehicle comes here, they all rush to see if they can get that vehicle for themselves. So that's the situation here at Tetegu. As of now, commuters are still hopeful that government interventions will bring them into more transportation. For JoyNews, Michelle Latte, Tetegu.
Now away from Tetegu, we'll go to Medina. Our cameras captured again the daily struggles of commuters.
We have not been getting it easy at all because sometimes you leaving the house early and coming here to join the queue, you get to work late. So I think the government should provide us with buses that can send us to work and stuff. Because these taxis, you come here 1, 2, then the queue too, is too difficult for us. So we are pleading to the government that it should help us because some of us, we are students and we get into school late. By the time we get there, the first lesson is over and we are lacking. So we plead him, he should help us.
And also pick your thoughts. What time did you leave the house and where are you headed towards and how long, what's going to be the effect on you?
Sometimes I leave the house 5:36, getting to this place. Then I will leave this place around 8, getting to school. I school at La Paz. Getting to that place, it will be like 9:30, 11. That due to the traffic too. Sometimes because of the traffic, we don't get to school early. Then the first period is over. So the government should help us.
How long have you been here?
Well, I've been here almost 10 minutes.
Where are you headed towards?
I'm going to America House.
And what's the challenge? Is this the situation every day over here?
It's mostly early in the morning.
But it's almost some minutes. It's 9:30, 10-ish, and there's still a challenge over here.
Yes, because I'm late today. Mostly morning is very difficult to get a car here.
I see. And what would you want done? Given that we understand that this situation has been recurring for quite some time.
It's because of population we have. Yes, because we have a lot of population here. And mostly the short it will not be full. It will take some time. That's why mostly we used to take taxi and we can rush to a workplace.
But from the people I just spoke to, they say that the trotro is relatively cheaper than the taxi.
Yes, the trotro is cheaper, but mostly it will not get full early.
So that's the situation in Medina. However, my colleague Fatal Bayaga is at the State Transport Corporation terminal where Transport Minister Joseph Bokari Nikbe has been engaged in management as part of his working visit to the company aimed at finding practical solutions to improve public transport delivery in the capital. And Fatal, what's the situation over there? Has he met them? Have they found some solutions yet?
Emma, so the management of the State Transport Company spoke about the fact that at the moment their buses, many of them are old, others are also broken down, and this is affecting their operation and helping with intercity operation as well as intra, among other things. They also spoke about the fact that their terminals are relatively older, and because of that, these terminals are not attracting a lot of people. So for that reason, they are calling on the Transport Ministry to do something about this particular situation. So in responding, the minister said that government has taken plans or has taken steps to retool the various state transport companies, including STC. And during the conversation, he said that by May, some buses should be coming in to support the company. In fact, the manager of the company said that based on the conversation that he has had with the minister, by May, about 100 buses will be coming in to augment their operations.
This is one of the issues the Ministry of Transport, and for that matter, government, presented to Parliament, our activities for this period of the recall. Parliament will be expected to pass a lot of bills and as government agenda, we have a lot of bills from the Ministry of Transport. And one of them is the renaming of the Kotoka International Airport to its original name. We will remember that in the period of the Second World War, around 1946, the British Royal Air Force used that place as an Air Force base to carry people to war and other activities. After that period, somewhere in 56, that facility was handed over to the civilian rule. That was the time Sergeant Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was at the helm of affairs. He retooled, he revamped, and redeveloped the Air Force base into a civilian passenger airport. And as at that time, the name was Accra International Airport. And that name is of significance to us. We all here have accepted that Accra is our capital city, marketed, rich culture, and also locational identity, that everybody in this world, especially in the West Africa sub-region, knows that where this struggle for independence had a lot to do from Accra. And so renaming the airport to Accra International Airport is of significant importance to the Ghanaian people and, for that matter, the African personality. Now, the situation is such that we are not doing this with any political thinking.
The Minister for Transport there, however, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, says it will not relent in its enforcement against commercial bus drivers who charge passengers unauthorized fares. The declaration follows the arrest of more than 100 drivers and conductors over the past 2 weeks as part of the National Capital for Fare-related Offences, according to the National Guard Commander of the GPRTU, Drummond Ekogezi. Those arrested were handed over to the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD, of the Ghana Police Service, where they were cautioned and subsequently released. Mr. Gaze says the exercise will continue until all commercial drivers fully comply with the approved transport fares.
Now we heard about 106 drivers who have been arrested and handed over to the police for now.
And tell us exactly why these drivers are being arrested.
The problem is we normally do short shots. And let's take it, for instance, you go into Medina, they will take you from Accra and then to 37, then they alight you. And then the same car will pick the same people from there to Legon. And then we'll allow them there, and then the same car will pick the same people from there to Medina. So straight going to Medina, we get 3 cars at the moment. So that is the offenses that they have been doing. And then some of them also who applies Kaswa routes, Accra Kaswa, Kanisi Kaswa, they normally charge SS. Instead from here to Accra to Kaswa is 10 cities. They take 50 cities, some take 20 cities. So those are the drivers that we normally arrest.
So prior to these arrests, were the drivers cautioned about their actions?
We educate them. We do the education all right. Some of them complain their car owners. They give them more, more space or someone. Yeah. Most of them, that is what they normally say.
So how long are you going to be?
That this is the reason why we arrest you. For the first that we arrested, the information I had from my office tells me that they were cautioned and then discharged. But we'll be going around again this time when we get you and we assess you and you are in the first group that you have been coaching, you've been caught again, then that's when you face the court.
Please, how long are you going to be doing this?
We are still on the way to the stop. Some areas when we go, the police help us. But normally I'll be saying the police help us because when we make the arrest, we send them to the police.
Away from that, mixed reactions have greeted the government's plan to rename the Kotoka International Airport to Accra International Airport. The announcement was made by Majority Leader Mahama Yariga in Parliament yesterday, indicating that the Transport Minister Bukari Nikpe is expected to lay a bill before Parliament to effect the renaming. Although the original reason for the renaming is yet to be made public, the announcement alone has sparked rage and public debate in the last 24 hours. First, listen to Minority Leader Alexander Penyemakin, who believes this is an indictment on the NDC.
That all these years, we've had this Kotoka, General Kotoka's name on the airport, and suddenly it's being changed. What is it? After it's Kotoka International Airport, Accra. So Accra is still there. So if you come to Accra, or even in the country, how many prominent Voltarians have their names on national assets or national monuments? This is the only thing the people of Volta region can also at least see as something that recognizes heroism from the Volta region. And that one too, they are being denied.
Now, speaking on the AM show on the JoyNews channel a while ago, Chief Executive Officer of the Consumer Protection Agency, Kofi Kapito, says this is irrelevant when there are more important bread and butter issues to tackle.
Buy something the person knows is defective. You go back, he tell you, I will not exchange it. I will not even give you your money. We have stores in Ghana, foreign stores in Ghana, who has the audacity to write on the receipt, goods sold are not returnable. And you as an MP, you sit here and it's not important to you. I'm very, very angry at Parliament. Very, very angry at Parliament. The whole Parliament, especially Ayariga. What is also honorable about renaming Kotoka? The most important thing that Ghanaians are going through is renaming Kotoka International Airport. Look, the government has done well. The dollar is coming down. Inflation is doing well. Petrol has gone down. You get my point? You won't like this one. Those are the kind of things I want to see.
Don't listen.
Don't tell me about some international airport renaming. Do you know how much it's going to cost the taxpayer? Because the moment you take Kotoka out of it, you have to re-change every single thing that has Kotoka on it. And we don't even think. We thought about Jubilee and what's it called? Flagstaff House. And some people promised that when they come, they will change it.
And they did.
And they did.
Does this come to you more political than?
To me, it doesn't make any sense.
But the National Communications Director for the Convention People's Party, CPP, Osei Kofi Kapito, says the move is important to correct a wrong in the political history of Ghana.
After 60 years, justice has been served. Now, if we want to build a country, we need to be honest people. The hypocrisy in this country stinks. There are things people don't realize. When the 1966 coup happened, do you know what they did? It separated families. Certain people who were government appointees had to flee for their lives. They had to run in the middle of the night, leaving their children and wives behind. Some of them are still in exile, and I can mention one of them.
Who?
Senior Comrade Arrow from Pomanson, the father of Father Kabe from Pomanson, still in the UK. Otibonsu and other people. Now, when the 1966 coup happened, certain people lost their lives unjustly. They were not taken to court. They were not found guilty of anything, but by the fact that they were associated with Nkrumah, they were killed. And that is why we are so happy that after 60 years, justice has been served. I believe that people who have lost their life, including my grandparents, who were members of the CPP, who were unjustifiably dealt with, okay, and some of them lost their lives. I'm sure today they will pacify wherever they are. So to Ejabrefo, wherever you are, this is your vindication. To Nana Takwasi, this is your vindication. Nana Pokumensa, this is your vindication. This is to Nana Kwakumi, this is your vindication. To Nana Kwampoku, this is your vindication. To Osadifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, this is your vindication.
Now, the Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikbe, has explained that the decision is not motivated by political ambition or intended to cause dissatisfaction among the public, but seeks to restore the original name given to the airport by Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Now, the situation is such that we are not doing this with any political thinking. We are doing this to come from a very neutral point of view that Accra is our capital city. It is not anybody's name. If we want to name other monuments or any other national facilities to people, this is the time that we are looking at restructuring them. For the fact that we had a name and it was changed to honor somebody in his role in the 1966 coup, we feel that that history is not what the Ghanaian will want to hear. The fact that it had an original name, and that name was when the first president gave that name to the airport, we should do that, and Kwame Nkrumah himself in his grave will remember, even if the spirit is anywhere and it is coming home, it will get to his original Accra International Airport, no any other name.
Well, there is also a statement coming in from the Volta Regional Representative on the National Development Planning Commission, NDPC. Dr. Eliklim Kobla Afetogbo and James Aveji joins me with details. James, what does it say?
Well, it's a long 3-page statement, except say that the value of an airport is not merely on renaming it, but it is actually measured by the reduction in the cost of services at that airport, the cargo capacity, as well as its connectivity to the rest of the world, its openness to businesses from other parts of the world. And so renaming this essentially is not really what is important as we speak. He also went ahead to talk about the cost involved in all of this renaming and how much it will cost us to rebrand and change the name in other international databases across the globe. Then he went ahead or conclude by addressing the political conversation and the ethnic conversation around it. You remember the minority leader introduced this into the conversation. He said he's calling on all persons from Volta, even home and abroad, to reject this and stand against any move to rename this, and that urging other members of the public to fight for policies that brings economic development to Ghana and not things that will end up wasting the nation's scarce resources. That's what the Dr. Eliklim Kobla Afetogbo is essentially saying in that particular statement, MFR.
Thank you so much, James, for bringing us excerpts of that statement. Now, a section of Ghanaians have also been expressing their views on the subject.
Oh, it's very necessary. They should change it. They should change it to either Ghana International Airport or Accra International Airport. Because, Kotoka, he just overthrown Kwame Nkrumah, or he overthrew Kwame Nkrumah, right? So it's better. It's either Kwame Nkrumah International Airport is better. Kotoka the plan B.
What is the history behind Kotoka? The airport being named after Kotoka. I hear he was killed there. That's the story. People want to bring political issues about it and tribal issues. So maybe Accra is in Accra. So they just name it Accra International Airport and then we'll all be free.
Since Accra is the capital city of Ghana, I think the name should be Accra, not Kotoka.
Everybody knows it's Kotoka International Airport. So I don't think if they change it, that will be possible.
If they name it Kwame Nkrumah International Airport, that is good because he was the first president in Ghana. And he was the one who built the airport, not Kotoka. Because they killed him there, that is why they named him Kotoka Airport. So to me, I prefer Kwame Nkrumah Airport.
You're watching News Today, and in other news, administrative officers are the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, including the University for Information Technology Services, KNUST hospital and library units have been partially halted as senior staff review their services. Now, the disruption follows an indefinite strike by the Senior Staff Association protesting alleged unfair treatment and breaches of agreements by the government and the Fair and Wages Salaries Commission. Checks on KNUST indicate temporary workers and junior staff have stepped in to handle basic tasks, but critical and technical services such as transcript processing and library lending have been suspended. And Clinton Yebo, my colleague, has been engaging some of the staff at KNUST and joins us via Zoom. Now, Clinton, what's the atmosphere there, though?
Well, MFR, I must say that the strike action has indeed disrupted the smooth operations in many public universities, and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is no exception. There is currently, when you go there, a partial shutdown of essential student services. And this situation, what we gathered from grounds, has affected the day-to-day manual and operational duties, because they are currently now being handled by temporary and junior staff members. When you take the the university's information technology services, for instance, this is a page where students do their online registration and they seek for their transcripts. Now, the senior members who have passwords and logins to the systems are not there, and so students are stranded. The junior staff who are there, who also do not have the passwords and the logins, have also been rendered useless, I may say. Some of these staff that we spoke to explained that there is a massive backlog of duties that are to be done and to be attended to at the moment that have been suspended because of the absence of their senior staff members.
Right. Thank you so much, Clinton. But quickly, though, after speaking to these staff members who are on strike, what did they say particularly? What are they asking for?
Well, earlier when we spoke to the national chairman of the Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana, Mr. George Anson, he says that the government, without their consent, has made some amendments to their Tier 2, which they say unless such process is rescinded, they will continue the industrial action. They are very resolute on this decision that until government sets up probably a committee, or there is a discussion with members of the association to find an amicable solution, they would continue to suspend their actions across the nation.
All right, thank you so much, Clinton. And of course, you'd be following everything that's happening in Kumasi and then be giving us updates. Well, the Institute of Economic Affairs is taking on the government over its proposed mineral royalty regime, warning it risks locking Ghana into an outdated extractive system that gives away too much and keeps too little. The think tank is rejecting the draft Minerals and Mining Royalty Regulations 2025, which sets sliding royalties rate at 5% to 12% for gold and lithium, and a flat 5% for other minerals, describing the approach as a continuation of a colonial model of resource exploitation. IEA also is advocating for a model of full national ownership where the state retains control and contracts private firms, now local or foreign, strictly through a service agreement. And joining us this afternoon is Mohammed Kabori. He is the spokesperson for the Lands Ministry and joins us via Zoom. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. So with these concerns coming from CSOs, is the ministry going to withdraw the bill?
Good afternoon to you, and thanks so much for having me. I think they are right in their legitimate self to make these assertions, for want of a better word, make these seek these reliefs. But for me, it's long overdue, because not long ago, the Committee of Mines had opened a platform, was welcoming some of these decisions from like the public and corporate Ghana to, as they also feel contribute to strengthening and sharpening the new model that we're looking at. I mean, that opportunity came and I never took it. I do not know if it's just for criticism's sake or it's indeed intended to help Ghana shaping it or not. In the first place, IEA was in this country when we locked up the Awoyali, and we didn't hear anything of this sort.
Mahmoud, but they have decided to speak now. Would it matter?
Well, for me, that's where the worry comes from. Is it that we've only...
Do I still have Mahmoud?
Or it's just that it's a mere coincidence? For me, the current arrangement of a sliding scale puts Ghana at a very important position where we are able to maximize our benefit or our share in terms of our minerals deposit.
Are you open to engage in IEA at all? Because at least it's still a bill. It hasn't gotten to the point where you cannot do anything to it.
Recently, not 2 weeks, not more than 3 weeks ago, we extended invitation to a number of CSOs in this country, including IEA, and they never showed up. So I don't think the interest is about finding.
Is the invitation time bound? Is the invitation time bound?
Well, I mean, this is Government of Ghana project. And Government of Ghana deals with timelines. And some of these things, you are supposed to work it in such a way that new mineral deals that are coming out, you know how you're going to deal with it. So until IEA is satisfied, it means the country is not going to have.
But and again, back to the question that I said, fortunately, it's still a bill. It hasn't gone through. In fact, Parliament just reconvened, and it's still a bill. It's still not going to go through the process. I hear you say that you invited them first. They didn't honor it, but they have shown concern now. Have you closed the door, or you will engage them?
The point I'm making is that if you say you're going to re-engage other CSOs, it means that you are going to suspend or you are going to withdraw the bill from Parliament. And for want of better words, fine-tune it and submit it again. It's timelines that we're dealing with. And so, for me, everybody shared in the plight of IEA where they say, look, why don't we own these mining companies? Get private individuals or entities to run the show for us so that we benefit more. No one wants that. But have we gotten to that point as a country where we say, look, we are owning everything in our minerals government, in our mineral sector? Have we gotten to that point? The answer is a bit no. And so, yes, that could be a long-term agenda, but we've not gotten there yet. So it's rather.
I'm curious, though. Maybe finally, I'm curious, Mahmoud.
We align with the minister.
I'm curious. So, who and who, apart from IEA, who are the stakeholders that you invited to look at the bill that has been introduced to Parliament now?
When you look at the overall Minerals Act and policy review, it's not just one stakeholder. It has gone to a number, plethora of.
You say the CSOs were very well represented.
Recently, the recent invitation was on the backdrop of the conversation that was on the lead OER, but it all has something to do with the sliding scale mechanism.
I agree. On the chain, everybody was represented. I asked this question so that we can make progress. That did you consult every other stakeholder that you need to consult before presenting this bill, so that, of course, we don't have people coming back to say that, well, this is what we think.
Is one, consult people, the people making themselves available for consultation is another. So you don't just consult, you invite people to come to the round table for a discussion. Those who have issues, those who think they have other perspective that we could look at it. So, and it's about invitation, and it's about those who honor that invitation. And I'm just telling you, IEA didn't honor that invitation. And even if they have something substantial to contribute, I've not received a single paper from IEA to the ministry indicating that, look, we can do this, it will be better than that. Can they use one paper they have submitted to the ministry in a form of their suggestions, their contribution to fine-tuning our mineral document? No. So running to the media at the least provocation, for me, makes me feel like it's just for criticism's sake and not just helping to better the system.
Mahmoud, thank you for talking to us on the news today. Now, away from that, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat has disrupted what it describes as entrenched illegal mining networks operating on the Pra River in the Eastern region following a joint operation with the Achim Oda Blue Water Guards. Here is a News Desk report.
Intelligence-led operation was carried out on Tuesday between the communities of Ofuase Anwana and Insise, targeting illegal mining activities on and along the river. According to NIMOS, the exercise was aimed at verifying reports of ongoing galamsey operations and dismantling equipment responsible for severe pollution of the Pra River, which has contributed to the shutdown of some water treatment plants. NIMOS said the task force began the operation from Achim Ofuase Anwana in the Achimansa district, trekking approximately 14 kilometers through cocoa farms to access the riverbank. Upon arrival, the team encountered about 50 illegal miners actively mining on the river. The miners reportedly fled the scene, swimming across the Pra River towards Insise village to evade arrest. The Joint Task Force subsequently destroyed mining equipment found at the site, including 75 dredging chamfine platforms, 50 gold washing platforms, and 150 chamfine machines located on the riverbed. Several pipelines and water hoses connected directly to the river and used for mining operations were also dismantled and destroyed. Following the operation, NIMOS personnel engaged residents of nearby communities, sensitizing them on environmental, health and livelihood risk associated with illegal mining. Community members, according to the Secretariat, commended the task force and appealed for sustained operations to help restore the river and protect their livelihoods. NIMOS has raised concerns about the continued existence of organized illegal mining networks operating in remote communities despite the presence of local security and administrative structures. The Secretariat says the situation underscores the need to strengthen and reorient security and governance arrangements in such areas to deter illegal mining activities.
Now, President John Mahama is expected to arrive in Zambia shortly for a 3-day state visit. At the invitation of President Hakainde Hichilema, a ceremonial reception will be held at the KNUST International Airport, attended by President Hichilema, members of the diplomatic corps, senior government officials from both Ghana and Zambia, as well as cultural performers, among others. A key highlight of the visit will be President Mahama's address to the National Assembly of Zambia, where he is expected to present Ghana's vision for a more integrated, resilient and prosperous Africa. The address to the Zambia's parliament comes after just days after international development publication ranked President Mahama as the 5th most influential figure in global development and change-making, citing his leadership in advancing the Accra research agenda ahead of the visit. Now, Ghana's High Commissioner to Zambia, Elizabeth Nyantichi, said the engagement would further strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. She revealed that several memoranda of understanding are expected to be signed, including a visa waiver agreement between Ghana and Zambia.
Let me start by saying that Ghana and Zambia have strong relations dating back to the era of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, because these two were freedom fighters who saw to the total emancipation of Africa from colonialism. And let me also add by saying that Ghana was the first country to establish diplomatic relations with Zambia following their independence. And so this visit goes a long way, going a long way to further strengthen the bond of relation between the two countries. Now, coming to the current state visit, it's going to, we are going to sign some MOUs in the area of bilateral air service agreements, in the area of visa waiver. Visa waiver is very important because the two countries have very little trade between them. And so it's going to improve movement of persons between the two countries. We are also going to sign MOU in the area of health. You know, several MOU. So these MOUs will further strengthen the relation between the two countries, because we are going to then move to the implementation phases. Thank you.
Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba joins us live from the Kenneth Kaunda Airport in Zambia, where a ceremony is underway to welcome President Mahama. Maxwell, Zambia must be nice, but has the president arrived, and what can you report?
Well, Amafa, the president's aircraft is expected to touch down here at the Kenneth Kaunda Airport shortly, and he's touching down straight from Dubai, where he's been attending the World Government Summit, and he'll be touching down with the aircraft that he used. We're told in that government statement that that aircraft was provided by the UAE government, and he used that aircraft to get to Dubai to attend the World Government Summit, and he will be using that aircraft here at Zambia. That aircraft will be bringing him here to Zambia. But here, all is set at the Kenneth Kaunda Airport. As you can see, the guard of honor is ready, and members of the Ghanaian community are also here at the Kenneth Kaunda Airport, ready to welcome President John Mahama. Many of them we've seen here have been waving miniature Ghana flags, all of them excited and waiting for President Mahama's aircraft to touch down here in some minutes. So in about 10 minutes, that aircraft should be touching down here at the Kenneth Kaunda Airport. Let me take you very close away from the guard of honor that is here. Let's get closer to some of the Ghanaian community who are also here ready to welcome President John Mahama. But those you can see right now are the members of the culture. Also here
We definitely will bring you sights and scenes from the Kenneth Kaunda Airport in Zambia, where the president is set to arrive for that 3 days visit. And Maxwell Agbagba will be on the beat to bring you everything. You will miss that. But in other news, a government-sponsored bill aiming at decentralizing legal education and breaking up the monopoly of the Ghana School of Law has progressed in Parliament, even as some MPs urge caution. Some MPs are concerned opening access could affect the quality of lawyers and worsen standards. The new bill, once passed, will move professional legal education and training from the Ghana School of Law to accredited universities, taking away the monopoly, while ensuring only qualified students sit a national bar examination. Despite the caution, lawmakers from political divides agree the legislation has come at the right time. Here are excerpts of the debate on Parliament. Well, we'll bring you that a bit later, but my colleague Kweku Asante is coming to us live from Parliament. Kweku, tell me, what else is on the agenda for today?
So, yesterday, the House debated the principles of this bill. And what is expected to happen today is for Parliament to consider the various provisions in the bill itself. That is what is called the consideration stage. That is the main order of business. It will be done. Also, we are looking forward to a motion that has now been filed by the minority. We know that they did make some points about what they call losses that have been made by Gold Board. They've actually filed a motion led by Kojo Pomfoma and a number of other NDP MPs to investigate that. All of that has been advertised on the other paper today. There are a couple of statements that will also be taken today. Statements to mark the passing of J.B. Dankwa. There will also be a statement on the occasion of World Cancer Day. It is not a very heavy business day today. If you look at other paper, very light paper today. But a couple of business, particularly the one having to do with the legal education reform bill, is expected to be very, very important and supposed to take center stage today when the House starts. And for the Parliament of Ghana was expected to start at 12 noon. It's a little 15 minutes actually to 1 now. We haven't started. We see a number of MPs behind me already here in the chamber, ready and waiting for the Speaker of Parliament to process and for settings to start. So any moment from now, Alban Bagwin or any of his deputies will walk in and govern the House in session.
Thank you so much, Kweku. And Kweku is at Parliament and definitely will bring us everything. You won't miss that. You're watching News Today. Please stay. That's Business Update.
Welcome back to Business here on JoyNews today. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Ghana's inflation has dropped sharply to 3.8% in January 2026, marking the 13th consecutive decline and the lowest rate since 2021. Both food and non-food prices eased, signaling improved stability for households and businesses, even as regional differences persist. Listen to government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu addressing the press in Accra.
The data tell a very clear story. Inflation has fallen sharply and consistently over the year. Price pressures are easing across most components of the CPI. While challenges remain, particularly in some regions and food categories, the overall trend is positive. This creates space for planning, confidence, and recovery. In summary, in terms of numbers, we are talking about January 2026 recording an inflation rate of 3.8%. Food inflation at 3.9%, non-food inflation at 3.9% as well. Goods inflation at 3.6%, services inflation at 4%, inflation for locally produced items at 4.5%, and then we have regional differences, which shows that Northeast recorded the highest inflation at 11.2%, and Savannah recorded the lowest at negative 2.6%.
Now, away from inflation, cocoa prices are under renewed pressure due to weakening global demand. There is more in this report. Global cocoa prices have fallen sharply at the start of 2026, raising fresh concerns over Ghana's export earnings and rural incomes. As at January 22nd, cocoa futures in both New York and London are trading at a multi-year lows, weighed down by weakening global demand for chocolate, particularly in Europe and parts of Asia. For Ghana, the world's second largest cocoa producer, the price decline comes at a sensitive time, with cocoa remaining a major source of foreign exchange and government revenue. Lower prices could narrow export receipts and complicate fiscal planning, despite ongoing effort to stabilize the economy. Industry data show a sharp slowdown in cocoa grinders in key consuming markets, signaling softer demand even as favorable weather conditions in West Africa point to improve harvest prospects this season. While stronger output may support supply, analysts warn that prolonged demand weaknesses and rising inventories could continue to cap prices, exposing farmers to income pressures and increasing volatility in Ghana's cocoa sector through 2026. That's all for business. We have more news for you right after this break. Stay tuned.
Me bringing you entertainment stories happening in and around the world of entertainment. Let's get into a story. Evangelist Papa Shee has announced that the final funeral rites of the late High Life legend Daddy Lumba will take place in Accra on March 28 and 29, 2026. According to him, the two-day event is expected to bring together family members, colleagues, and well-wishers to bid a final farewell to the iconic musician. The announcement has generated widespread reaction online, with social media buzz over the updates, particularly as earlier funeral-related activities for Daddy Lumba were held toward the end of 2025. While the dates have been indicated, the family of the late musician is yet to officially confirm the venue and provide a detailed funeral program. Further information is expected to be released in the coming weeks.
May the Lord God Almighty bless you. Rade Inshaw ene anopa ewie so ayene pe odi acheye yeti atiasefo asasi so teche mada ya bodwimu emoja edi mu afusane enye ya hodin bi enye nyansan bi eyobade ena ayene sei. We give all glory to him alone. We bless his holy name. Ede radiase na o si ubisa me se eyi no be sa abaso yes ebeba so ewo ya jenkwan Yesu Kristo di mu said abusua na hyehye no said omo aka no omo no ba ekurani aka no omo beye but venue no the best san aba enkran Accra and date no so a match date no so a match said the kan no but date no be 28th and 29th of March, ending of March. So celebration of life, the celebration of life of Daddy Lumba and Charles Kojofusu, the celebration of life. Yanene adia abusuani na ene obakrani akambomu ya omoye na akata inia bema no nachi ene Ghana Music Union ene Art and Culture ene empanifo nyina sede be ya omo ebijaye nuano ekwan kra.
Well, moving away from that, the global gospel community is mourning the passing of worship icon Dr. Ron Kennedy, who has died at the age of 81. Now renowned for his powerful voice and vibrant praise music, Kennedy's ministry transcended borders, lifting hearts and shaping worship across continents. His legacy lives on through the timeless worship anthems he leaves behind. Today we remember 5 of his most beloved songs that helped define worship for generations of believers around the world.
Jesus is alive reminded worshippers of the living presence of Christ, inspiring joy, hope, and celebration wherever it was sung.
This Sunday morning, just like Jesus said, he broke the curse of sin and death, and he rose up from the dead.
Ancient of Days stands as one of Ron Kenoly's most iconic worship songs, revered for its majestic message that exalts God's eternal reign and faithfulness. With a title that calls believers together, Sing Out with One Voice brought congregations into joyful unity, reflecting Kenoly's passion for collective and expressive praise. Closing the list is Majesty, a worship classic that lifts up the greatness of God and remains one of Ron Kenoly's most enduring songs in churches around the world. Dr. Ron Kenoly's music did more than inspire. It became a spiritual soundtrack for worshippers across generations, cultures, and continents. His powerful voice and heartfelt praise will continue to resonate in churches and hearts long after his passing at the age of 81.
For more entertainment stories, please do log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Lois Shola Ademi. Over to you, MFA Adeti.
Thank you. I will collect it. Say you know Ron Kenoly.
Oh, yes, I do.
Over to me. I have collected it. Which of his songs do you have?
Ancient of Days.
Well, anyway, thank you so much for watching the news. I am MFA Adeti. And for more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Come, let's take a walk.
Let's go.